Bitcoin. Why? Look at this. In August on the 9th of this year, Bitcoin plunged 28%. Institutional investors bought it. Fidelity adds 117 million in Bitcoin as institutions continue to buy the dip October 12th. I'm going to cram a lot in this part here. Fidelity, their Bitcoin ETF. How many do they have? 202,000 Bitcoins. Almost 1% of all the Bitcoin. Do you see why this is a good idea? Let's keep going. Metaplanet buys the dip with biggest ever 620 Bitcoin buy. Japanese investment firm. It's not just us. Proof's in the pudding. Let's go to X. There's the president of the United States at the Bitcoin bar in New York City doing what? Buying either food or drink, whatever, with Bitcoin. Let's keep going. What does this say? BlackRock buys 551 Bitcoins. That was 14 hours ago. Keep stacking through the dip. Now, this, I didn't even think of it this way. This person said the only monetary instrument, listen, in the history of our species, talking about in man's time, that is fixed. Every other monetary instrument is not fixed. Bitcoin's the first to do that. Michael Saylor, MicroStrategies, on Warren Buffett. I've heard people say he's a genius. Oh, really? Is he a genius? I mean, to each your own. I never thought he was a genius. I just think he's old and does really antiquated, slow things because that's how old he is. That's what worked back then. We're in a whole other era, and he's still doing that. But he's already a billionaire. They are destroying. This is Warren Buffett. $3 billion a month in shareholders' capital by just holding on to cash and doing that kind of stuff. Ethiopia uses its Grand Residence Dam to power Bitcoin mining, generating 18% of its electricity revenue and earning, we talking about Ethiopia, earning $1 billion last year. Rumble stock has surged over 130% since adopting Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. They're putting it in their balance sheets. Michael Saylor, there he is, Mr. 11 years ago, talking about, Bitcoin's on its way out. It's not going to work. Here it is, 11 years later. He has more Bitcoin than most of the companies on the planet. 400,000 and counting. The first nation, this is what he said, the first nation to print their own currency to buy Bitcoin wins. What happened? Their company went from $1 billion to $100 billion market cap. 4 years. No Bitcoin 4 years ago, billion. 4 years later, Bitcoin, 100 billion. Any company can do this. They're all going to do it eventually. They're going to feel left out. You want to get your Bitcoin. We believe we found the best way to do just that. Everyone likes to look at Bitcoin in the morning. Look, this is CNBC Market Watch talking about Bitcoin in the morning. That was 3 hours ago. Did you stack Bitcoin this year? Well, let's see who did. Look at the companies. Look at the amounts. Look at where they are in the world. It's not just us. But again, as I said, I feel that we found the best way to get our hands on Bitcoin on the planet. ETFs, listen to this. America, look at the flag here in the United States. ETFs bought 475 million worth of Bitcoin yesterday. Not total, yesterday during the dip, y'all. It's on sale. That's why. This company, KULR Technologies, a publicly traded company. So Michael Saylor started it. Another one. A publicly traded company purchases 2.7 Bitcoin worth 21 million for its Bitcoin treasury. They're putting it in their companies and they're going to explode the value of their companies. Fidelity bought 2,630 Bitcoins, over 254 million yesterday. That was 8 hours ago. Cambodia Central Bank has approved commercial banks and payment institutions to offer Bitcoin and crypto-related services. The world has shifted. BlackRock has bought another 551 9 hours ago. This right here is where I end this. The purchasing power of $100 over time. Look at that. The longer you hold on to it, the less buying power it has. We have the ability to use this foolishness to get the new currency, the new kid on the block that's going to surpass all the assets, my opinion, including the real money, gold and silver. It already passed one. I may show that later. Uncle Walter, can you please show us the company that we have selected? No guarantees, no promises. We're not making any income claims, none of that. We're going to just show you what we're doing for our families.
So this is simply a bit booster. And what it does is detects movement on the network, and it is connected to the servers to those mining farms. Okay. And so it detects what's going on the network, and it then supplies that information to the miners, making them more efficient because they just simply do a job. There's no sitting around waiting. And also the other aspect is the booster, it tosses out those jobs that don't need to get done. It only gives the jobs that earn you money. And so it gives those jobs to the mining farms, to each one of those miners, and it keeps them basically employed. Okay. And so one booster can manage, let's say 10 miners, and off they go. And so it keeps them occupied working. And those useless jobs that don't need to get done, those are then tossed out, and we don't need to worry about those. And so this is how the booster is more efficient with the energy consumption of the whole mining operation. And that's how we're really cool. We are involved is because when we make a withdrawal from the Bitcoin that we earn at the end of the day, it comes from the mining pool. The company was formed in March of 2024, and our CEO was looking for a way to improve the mining functionality. Okay, and because he had a little hobby farm that he was doing, and so he wanted to improve its efficiency. And this is how he got in touch with Lenny Herling. Is he got in touch with him, and Lenny had been running this software for 2 years in his office there, and they correlated together to form a company where these boosters were created, produced, and they're sold to us. Now you ask the question, well, why is it that the mining operations, why don't they just buy the boosters themselves? Well, there's a few reasons. Number one, they already had an output of significant money. Like for every single miner that they own, that's like $10,000 per mining machine. Whereas where we come involved is they don't have to have any additional output of money. We simply, those Bitcoins that they make, we're making on top of, and we share these ones out. Lots of people tour around the office all the time. Okay. It's not a problem. Like you want to go tour the office, go ahead. People, they're open from Monday to Saturday. And here in this is the server room. They've actually got three rooms like this. This is a server room. It's just like only holds like 1,000 or so boosters. And there are 2 other warehouses. And the reason why they have 3 is because that way they're decentralized. And if something happens, disaster recovery. By the way, we also have 3 mining farms. And one of the mining farms is in the US, Texas Mining Farms. The other one is in Ethiopia. And the other one is in Cambodia. Now, each one of those mining farms has certificates, is registered with their respective governments. That's why we're legal as well. Is we have what is called an MSB license. Okay, MSB stands for Money Services Business License, and it's issued to us from the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, Department of Treasury. And this is a really long word, and it's really important to understand why it is that we're legal in the United States. Okay, every company that deals with money services has to have a money services business license. Because what FinCEN does, FinCEN stands for Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, Department of Treasury, okay, FinCEN, what they do is they are enforcing the movement of money. They don't want any scams, okay? They don't want people being scammed, and we don't either. They don't want any Ponzi schemes, and they don't want money laundering, okay? And so they enforce this type of behavior. And this is why this license is very significant, is because we have this license. Now, here's some important parts, is we are not trading any sort of thing. Okay. And so we're not trading and we aren't buying or selling. And so this is significant because this is why SEC has no jurisdiction over us either, is because they are in charge of securities and in charge of the selling and buying of securities. And we're not buying or selling securities. Okay. So that's why SEC hasn't issued us any sort of license or anything like that. But they also haven't issued us any D&D either, because again, they're not responsible for us, because FinCEN is responsible for us, like KuCoin or Binance or Coinbase or Crypto.com as an example. Okay. So every single one of those companies has an MSB license, and they had to get that license to prove that this is where the money's coming from. This is where the money's going to. The business is really, really useful because we are involved. It can only cost us $1,000 for one machine, or $100 for a shared machine. Okay. And the output, well, I'll let Wendell talk about that.
All right, so here is our fearless leader out at home office. They're about to go into one of the server rooms. Check this out.
Right here. On the screens, we've got transactional data flying. All of the bit boosters are operating here. Each screen represents 20 bit boosters in a unit. We've got the mining farm address IP that we're plugged into and we're helping and servicing. And we've also got all of the transactional data here. And we've got a number of terahash and difficulty showing up here. Now the room is under high security and only one man in the world has the magic finger. Who's that?
Yes, me.
Chop, chop, chop.
Oh.
There we go. Let's get in here.
Okay, shall we go?
Woo. Excited.
Welcome to Big Harvest Server Room. Come on.
Wow, look at this place. It's like a candy store. I love it. Amazing. So those TVs are basically displaying what these TVs are doing.
Yes.
Okay. And these are all the boosters, 20 units in each one of these boxes.
Yes, right.
And we got an upper and we got a lower down here. And they're all plugged into the servers and they're all servicing our mining farm partner, correct?
Yeah, right.
And so I've got a booster plugged in here somewhere, Mr. Ronnie. And where is that one? Where's mine?
Your one, the booster number is
001.
001. Yeah, your booster is here. Come on.
Okay, there it is.
Yes. So,
All right, so we're now active.
now your booster is active situation. The status is active. Now we are plug off the booster.
Yeah, let's unplug it.
Yeah, you will see.
And we see that we're now deactive.
Deactive. And
So this is live. And there's my serial number on the bottom, 001, and you
Yes.
can see the 001 serial number on the bottom there too of the
Yes.
device. So every device has a matching serial number to the back office, and they're directly correlated with one another. Awesome.
Yes, yes.
So now we're going to plug that guy back in,
yeah. Shall we? 1, 2, 3.
plug it in, and there
Yes.
we are. Boom, back up. And we'll get 70 terahash rate in a second here on the device.
Yes, you just refresh.
Refresh.
You will see it run. You want to detect.
Nice.
A few minutes.
Yeah, it takes a few minutes for it to boot up. There it is,
Yes.
70 terahash, just like that. So there you have it, folks. The disbelievers out there, the people that don't want to believe that we have a server farm, that we have a device, that we're actually enhancing the Bitcoin mining situation. For all yous out there that believe, however, and are following and want to be part of this, you leaders, you networkers, and all you passive income earners, get with us. Get with BitHarvest.
Yes,
We've got a
yes.
solid situation here. You guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, you are
Amazing.
good. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Ronnie.
Think of all the assets that you can think of. Companies, big ones, small ones, just think of those. We're looking at the top 10. We're talking about not just companies. It says public companies, precious metals, cryptocurrencies, ETFs, and all the other ones you can think of. Do you see the dollar on here? The pound, the yen, the euro? Why not use that stuff to get something on this list in the top 10? Well, there's number one. Been here before, man. Always going to be here. That's my opinion. For a few companies follow after it. Let's see what comes up next. Oh, another company, and then more money. Only two monies ever on this planet: gold and silver. There's no other money. Bitcoin's not money. At least not yet. I don't know. We're going to see. But notice that it's on the list. There's a couple more companies between it and silver. And look, number 10, 15-year-old. This is like a teenager. That means all the companies you're thinking of are back down this list somewhere. We're making a case for Bitcoin. I think we're winning by far. Well, oh wait, I'm sorry. This was in September of this year. Let's go forward 1 month, November. Notice anything different? Yeah. The little kid just jumped over not only more companies, but real money as well to number 7. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 companies left. I ran the numbers around 100 and I think 80 something, that like 84,000. All of these companies will be beneath Bitcoin at 184,000 per Bitcoin. It's already hit 108 just a couple weeks ago. And I do believe it will surpass gold as well. All it has to do is hit around 800 and something thousand per Bitcoin, which in my opinion will do, and it will be the number 1 asset on earth. And you can get that. And we are showing you a way to do it with the device that we have. That was last month. There is the worthless dollar, the reserve note, the currency, not money, lost 97% already, going to zero unless it's reconnected to gold and silver or Bitcoin, in my opinion, some kind of crypto, something. There's Bitcoin. You can use the one going to zero guaranteed on its own, or the one going up, down, up. Not that difficult. Every 4 years, there's a halving. 2012 was the first one, then 2016, then 2020, 2024. Notice which way this is going. All these dips are just sales. We're in a sale right now. 108, we're at about 94, 95,000 right now. From 108, that's a sale. Look where it's projected to go, as it's always done since it's been here, higher. Not financial advice, just my opinion. Why again? This is the supply. Every 4 years, half is being produced. Half is getting less and less every 4 years. Look at the demand. Higher, 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 higher. Where do you think this is going? Not our guarantees, nothing like that. It's just the numbers. Look at the screen. 8 billion people. Maybe a billion know about it. Only hundreds of millions have it. That's why you see this keep going higher. There's a huge demand going on and going forward, and there's a supply being lowered. The absolute perfect recipe for financial wealth. This company started in March, and by May, they went to Dubai, one of the premier places for crypto events these days. 2 months after this company opened, it went to Dubai and won Best Cryptocurrency Mining Service Provider in the GCC. It's a group that gathers there yearly, it looks like, and look what happened. Just a 2-month-old company. Years of other companies, years of their technology were passed up by our little Bit Booster. That little device, the Bit Boosters that we get, we do not arbitrage, we do not mine, we do not invest. None of those terms are what we do. We buy a device that produces Bitcoin for its owners. That's it. We're not arbitraging. We're not doing any of that. I want to make that clear. Even when we slip up and say we're mining, or we're not. There's no mining on our part. All we're doing is getting a device. Like you buy a shirt that you wear, you buy a device, and all it does is print Bitcoin for the owner. The world has truly changed. April of this year, 2024, the Bit Booster, the device we're talking about, is insured by Alliance Bank. The future, I think, is really bright. You don't have to take my word for it. Look at the roadmap. The NASDAQ. BitHarvest is going through the process to get on the NASDAQ, and they believe they can have that completed. You're not going to be a scam on the NASDAQ. That's not how that works. They dig too deep. They get all in your business and all the partners' business and your finances. They said by September 2026, they expect to be having a launch party. How you announce on a launch party? Because they're very confident in what they're doing. In Las Vegas, I definitely plan on being there for that. I hope we gave you enough information. Please pause the slides and read all the stuff I clicked on for yourself. Get back with who invited you, in my opinion. It's not financial advice. And just share. If you want to. You don't have to. Minister of Fun, I'm out.